All right, welcome to part 2 of my video solving our situational problem. I've written my description of the task and you can compare yours to mine. So what I did is I actually made a to-do list so I could kind of check it off as I go along. That helps me keep track that I've accomplished everything in the problem. It's a really great strategy to stay organized and make sure you're on the path to success. So another thing that I did is underneath each thing I have to do, I listed the information that's going to be good to remember. So let's read through my list. If you notice something I've written but you forgot to, you can add it to your description of the task, or if you want to change how you formatted yours, you can do that as well. Make sure that your description is organized. So the first thing I have to find out is the number of families per village after I've picked my 2 villages. Something to remember is that there are 5 people per family. Didn't even write the full word people because I'm allowed to use short forms. The other thing that's going to help me is that there's a table with the total population of each, I miswrote, not of each family, of each village. So for example, Katima has 305 people in total, and there's 5 people per family. The next thing I have to do is I have to pick the provisions to ship them. Something to help me is I have to pick 1 item from each food group. I even wrote the 4 food groups so I can check off as I've chosen. The grains, the produce, the protein, and the cooking supplies. The other thing I wrote that seems like it's important because it's related to the food supply is that I can't exceed 50 kilograms for a 3-month supply for a family. So since I have a maximum amount of weight, I'll probably end up choosing things that don't weigh very much just to be safe. Then I'm going to calculate a 3-month supply, the total kilograms per item per family. I put an arrow because, again, I want to remember that it can't exceed 50 kilograms. If it does, I got to change my picks. Then I put that I have to calculate the total kilograms per family for all the items. I'll even write that for all 4 items. And then I have to fill in the order form. I put a little smiley because that's easy. I just put in the information in the end. All right, so I'm actually ready to get started. My next page, I'm just going to use a blank page. I'm going to keep my checklist nearby at all times so I remember to do things. So the first thing on my checklist is I have to figure out the number of families. I'm going to start off right away by labeling what I'm trying to find out. I'm figuring out the number of families. I'm even going to put number 1 next to it because it's my first step. So I am going to pick 2 villages that I want to. It doesn't give me any strategies to pick which villages I want to do. So I'm going to pick Chikua, which has 130 people. And I'm going to pick Katima. I'm going to do Katima, which has 305 people. For this, I know that each family has 5 people in it. So if I'm kind of sorting this into families, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 families there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'd have 5, 10, 15. And I could keep drawing out my families until I got to 130. So that would be 5 times what? So 5 people times how many families gets me to 130. I don't want to do that. That's going to take too long. So I'm actually going to do it in reverse. I'm going to say 130 people divided into groups of 5 will give me how many families. And for that, I'm actually going to use my calculator, because I'm allowed to use a calculator when doing a situational problem. So 130 divided by 5 gets me 26. 26 families in this village. Same thing for Katima. I'm going to do 305 divided by 5, which gets me 61. 61 families. So if I go back to my checklist, I can check off I found the number of families. I kept in note that I had 5 people per family, and I referred to that table on the first page with the population. So I used this information in here. I'm all done with it. And I'm done with this information, 5 members in the families. Crossing them off because I used the information. So now I'm going to see what's next for me to figure out. It says I need to decide on provisions to ship. I need 1 item from each food group, and it cannot exceed 50 grams. So, number 2, my provisions. Step 2, provisions. Because it can't exceed 50 grams, I'm going to choose the lightest items. So I can either send corn flour here or barley. You might change your mind, you might do a different combination, but for me, this is how I'm going to try it. I'm going to do corn flour. Then from produce, I have apples, carrots, and radishes. I don't really like radishes. I love apples. From proteins, lentils weighs the least. And for the cooking staples, sugar weighs the least. So I'm going to pick those that weigh the least, so that way I stay under my 50 kilogram weight. So here are my calculations. I'm going to note down that corn flour equals 5 kilograms for 1 month. Apples are 3 kilograms for 1 month. Lentils are 4 kilograms for 1 month. And sugar is 2 kilograms for 1 month. Okay. So I did decide on the provisions to ship. I did choose 1 item from each of the families, the food groups, sorry. But I haven't checked yet if it doesn't exceed 50 kilograms for 3 months. I have to calculate that 3-month supply. So I have to take the weight and I have to multiply it in order to get 3 months. Since each one is for 1 month, actually I'm going to label my 3-month supply. This is my next step. I have to multiply each of them by 3 to see how much it would be for 3 months. So 5 times 3 is 15 kilograms. 3 times 3 is 9 kilograms. 4 times 3 is 12 kilograms. And 2 times 3 is 6 kilograms. I tried to line up my numbers nice, but they're a little bit squishy squashed. So I'm just going to move that one over. So now it's nice and lined up. So 5 plus 9 is 14, plus 6 is 20, plus 2 is 22. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So it looks like in total I have 42 kilograms. If I go back to my checklist, I do not exceed 50 kilograms. And I did calculate the 3-month supply per item per family. And then just to double check, I did calculate the total kilograms per family for all 4 items together because I had to make sure it didn't exceed 50 kilograms. It wasn't more. My last step says to fill in the order form. So I'm going to start to do that. I have all my calculations in front of me and I can start to fill in my order form. So I choose Chikwa and Katima. I figured out that there were 26 families in Chikwa and 61 families in Katima. I chose corn flour, apples, lentils, and sugar. I chose the same items for each village. Corn flour, apples, lentils, and sugar. My 1 month supply, I had 5 kilograms, 3 kilograms, 4 kilograms, and 2 kilograms, which was a total of, I actually didn't calculate that, so I should add it in my calculations. Just doing it over here. 5 plus 3 plus 4 plus 2 is 14 kilograms. My 3 month supply, I calculated. And in total, it was 42. So I'll do that, same thing on the bottom, and my chart will be filled in. So as per my copy, I am all done my problem. I can go back, double check my checklist, and make sure everything is filled in. What you're going to notice is on your problem, you have an extra column. This is the one part of the problem I'm going to have you do all on your own. So you're going to have to figure out that last step completely independently. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing all of your order forms and problems organized and filled out to the best of your abilities. Thumbs up for math!